Hi, I'm Joelle Miles, and I'm a student at Wayland Baptist University. I am studying in the Doctor of Strategic Leadership program, and currently I am enrolled in the Intercultural Leadership and Communication course, where this week one of our requirements is to discuss stereotypes. This is my first time ever using any type of social media, at least posting like a video or something like that. I do scroll through, but I'm not much of a user of social media in other formats. So please bear with me. Before we get into stereotypes, I think it's a good idea to understand what a stereotype is. Okay, so let's take a look at stereotypes. Okay, here is how I am defining a stereotype. Stereotypes are pervasive cognitive structures that categorize individuals based on perceived traits or behaviors associated with particular groups. Such categorizations simplify the complexities of human behavior, but they can lead to prejudice and systemic inequities, according to Jost and Hamilton, 2005. This response critically evaluates Jost and Hamilton's seminal work against more recent findings and explores the implications for leadership in an intercultural context. Okay, so we can glean some insights from Jost and Hamilton's 2005 work. Within that work, Jost and Hamilton present stereotypes as a byproduct of social cognition necessary for cognitive efficiency, but ultimately detrimental to social harmony. Their exploration of the implications of stereotyping illustrates how cognitive biases create disparities in groups. However, while their foundational concepts regarding stereotypes still resonate, the landscape of stereotyping has evolved with the advent of technology and social media, necessitating a reevaluation of their framework. Current research and videos from contemporary literature expands upon the foundational theories established by Jost and Hamilton. For example, a study by Crandall et al. 2020 emphasizes how digital communication influences perceptions and reinforces stereotypes through social media platforms. Their findings indicate that stereotypes are not only maintained, but often amplified in online environments where anonymity can exacerbate prejudicial attitudes. Additionally, the video presented in our course depicted the emotional consequences of undergoing stigma and stereotype threat, reinforcing Jost and Hamilton's assertion regarding the psychological impact of stereotyping. Collectively, these insights reveal that while the foundational elements of stereotype theory remain intact, the dynamics of stereotyping in modern contexts require ongoing scrutiny and adaptation, according to Davis et al. 2019. So as we begin to understand stereotypes and categorizations, I'm going to present to you what I think. And my understanding of stereotypes and categorizations suggests that while these cognitive mechanisms can be efficient for processing information, they often lead to oversimplification. And as a leader actively fostering an environment that challenges stereotypical categorization is essential. And this may entail implementing training that emphasizes empathy, promotes inclusivity, and encourages open dialogue about diverse experiences and backgrounds. The notion of overcompensation is critical in this dialogue. Why? Because leaders may unwittingly engage in tokenism, which involves superficial representation rather than genuine integration of diverse voices. And this is according to Ng and Sears 2022. This highlights the importance of fostering substantial engagement and understanding rather than merely meeting diversity checklists. In Dr. Kimberly Mendoza's lecture, she mentions a framework of the three selves: a public self, a private self, and the ideal self. And if I can use her illustration, she said it's kind of like one circle, in a small circle inside of a bigger circle inside of a larger circle. So the three selves. I can delineate my leadership approach using that method. So the public self is manifested in how I interact with team members and stakeholders, highlighting an inclusive and empathetic demeanor. The private self reflects my internal beliefs about diversity, which I actively cultivate through reflection and self-awareness. Meanwhile, the ideal self embodies my aspiration to lead authentically, embracing the value of each individual's contribution. Aligning those selves fortifies my commitment to equitable leadership practices. And I view this in such a way that who I present myself to others as is really who I am. So in my perception, that smaller circle compared to the much larger circles, I believe is the core of the individual. Who you are will shine through no matter what. So whatever your character is, that is the core you. Whether you're showing it to public, demonstrating your public self, your private self, and in all of the three selves, who you are shines out through each category. And so God has a view on stereotypes. And from a theological perspective, God's view on stereotypes is profoundly rooted in human dignity and equity, equality. Genesis 1:27, according to the New International Version, states, "So God created mankind in his own image," emphasizing the inherent worth of every individual beyond societal categories. Furthermore, James chapter 2, verse 1 cautions against favoritism, opposing the notion of valuing individuals based on external characteristics. In stark contrast, social views often prioritize superficial attributes such as race or socioeconomic status, leading to diverse categorizations. And this divergence invites leaders to reflect on their values and challenge societal norms by advocating for inclusivity and recognition of individual worth, as epitomized by Christ's ministry of love and acceptance. And that's according to Matthew chapter 22, verse 39 from the New International Version. Stereotypes or stereotyping certainly can impact leadership. And some of the impacts stereotypes can have on leadership. These are my perceptions. My perception of myself and others significantly affect my leadership. Understanding that stereotypes can distort perceptions allows me to approach leadership with a commitment to challenge biases, cultivating a more inclusive environment. So by embodying the principles of empathy and self-reflection, I strive to ensure that my leadership reflects a commitment to the value of each individual, transcending divisive categorizations. So in conclusion, the exploration of stereotypes reveal that while the groundwork laid by Jostin Hamilton remains relevant, integrating contemporary research and theological perspectives further our understanding of this complex issue. As leaders, embracing the challenge to confront stereotypes not only aligns with ethical and spiritual principles, but also enhance organizational effectiveness, which is why it is so challenging to see the direction that we're going in as a nation, as a country, where we don't want, it seems, we don't want inclusivity. So we say these words, all the right words, all the right buzzwords, but in reality, we really don't want organizations to reflect that level of diversity. At least that is my lived experience. And so I'm hoping that as we continue to grow as leaders, as heads of departments, heads of organizations, heads of departments and things like that, it is my hope that we can really embrace a God's worldview, a Christ worldview, Christian worldview of how we lead and how we handle people from all walks of life. We are all different on the exterior, but we are more similar than what meets the eye, because we all need basic needs, human interaction. We all want to feel worthy. We all want love. We all want the same thing, but because each package is wrapped differently, sometimes the stereotypes associated with the packaging can lead to detrimental effects within an organization. And so, again, the exploration of stereotypes reveals that while the groundwork laid by Jostin Hamilton remains relevant, integrating contemporary research and theological perspectives furthers our understanding of this complex issue. As leaders, embracing the challenge to confront stereotypes not only aligns with ethical and spiritual principles, but also enhances organizational effectiveness. Thank you for hearing my take on stereotypes. And that's all I have. Thank you so much.